All right. Super excited. Chaz is actually going to kick us off. Somebody's saying, why isn't there any video? I'm not sure. You may have dialed in audio only. You may come back in, come back out, or just listen, or come back, leave and come back in. That's what I meant. We are super excited, y'all. I'm still like, since Thrivepalooza. I've been trying to catch up at the house, but at the same time, my phone battery will not stay charged. I'm on all the recaps because even though I was there live in person, I'm still like, I need to get other people's input and feel and what did they catch that I didn't catch, because your brain takes a nap like every 60 seconds. So you're not going to get everything, even if you and another person are in the exact same room, listen to the exact same person at the exact same time. So you have leaders that are hosting recap Zooms, get on those, take the notes. Oh, I didn't hear that on Chas and Amber's. Oh, I didn't hear that on Maria's. Like everybody's going to have a different feedback field position. With that, Chas, take it away, sister.
Oh my goodness. I too am still riding that thrive high. You know, there is so much to be said about being in an actual room. And I want to remind you guys that there's no shame in some of you that had to make decisions of, you know, for your family, you couldn't make it this time, but let's set an intention and a goal that you won't miss the next one, whether that's a lifestyle getaway, whether that's the many regional locals that Jason Camper's been talking about, because there's nothing like the energy in the room. And I'll tell you, it felt different. It felt very much like home, you know, and, you know, let's just be honest. We have, you know, Amber and I have been in over 9 years, and, you know, it gets to that point where, you know, even if you're in your home, you know, you're like, the walls need repainting. I need new carpet, or I just need to freshen things up. That's life. That's not just in the direct sales space. That's not just with your relationships. Everything requires a refresh and kind of just to get you back where you need to be. And so I have people that say, you know, I don't know if this is home, or, you know, hey, I want this to feel like home. And I'm like, you got to hang some pictures up on the wall. You know, I can walk into a beautiful, luxurious home, but if the walls are bare, until I actually put photos up of me and my children and the things that, you know, make me happy, it's not going to feel like home. And so just this weekend, it felt like home. You know, Amber and I had the opportunity to get our teams together, and we did break fire code. So don't do as we say, not as we do. But I can tell you, even during the sweatiness and everybody was like, it's hot in here, it felt like home. I don't know if you remember, Amber, we did that back in the beginning. We used to gather in rooms and just hang out. And so it just felt so good. The energy, the fire, the excitement that we could hear in Jason Camper's voice. You can tell like his conviction is for us. Now, I will tell you, I felt like I was drinking out of a fire hydrant when they were giving all the information. And I still feel a little bit like that. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, but I think that the exciting part is that Amber and I are kind of yin and yang, and she's good with the details. But I know I want you guys to understand that the ones that were there, thank you for investing in yourself once again. I know that sometimes it gets daunting, and sometimes, you know, it's like you're spending that money. And, you know, we were in Colorado this time. It wasn't as convenient. You know, DFW is easy to fly in and out of. It's easy for people to drive to. And this took some sacrifice. But to those that didn't attend, I want you to know that you were missed. You were thought of. I know for me, when Time Hop pops up, I'm very intentional. I have a love-hate with Time Hop, but I go through and I look at where are the people that were here 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And I still believe that they can be here now. And so, you know, it is a very exciting time. I know Amber and I are going to talk a little bit about the vision. I really feel in my heart, in my spirit, and, you know, this is just me. If you don't know me, I pray for our CEOs. I pray for our organizations. I pray for wisdom and guidance. And I just really believe that I went in with an expectancy, and I think that what I'm feeling in this time is, 2017, we had that incredible launch of Duo, and, you get asked, I was asked in Tony and I's, breakout session, what would you do different? And for me, this is an opportunity to prepare for another launch. I don't know what this launch is going to be like, but I know that it was multiple millions in sales last time. I know the impact to our checks, to our physical transformations, everything that happened. And maybe I spent some money frivolously. Maybe I did some things I shouldn't have. I will be wise. I want to steward the opportunity and steward this business well. And so I'm excited for those that are going to come in, those that are going to come back in, because if then people are saying, I want to come back home. And we're like, hey, come back home. Welcome, open arms. It's still the same 3 steps. It's still just as easy. We'll walk through the new things. You'll be drinking out of a fire hose with us all. And I think that's a good thing, because I know that some of us have gone through some dry seasons. And so I would much rather have the fire hose than the drought. But I am expecting that we're gonna do some amazing things. And I cannot wait to kind of see how this progresses. So pass it back to you, Amber.
Awesome. Okay. Can I have just can I be transparent with y'all for just a second? I'm going to show y'all, because everybody thinks, oh, the top leaders, they have it all together and all the things. I'm going to see, can you see my desk and y'all, and that, like, it is nuts. It is a mess. I have notes everywhere. I will organize this tonight or tomorrow. But I'm like, I don't have time. I've got to do the work now. And that was something that I took away from a couple of the sessions. If you weren't in the outbreak sessions on Friday, guys, I want you to make a point that if they do it that style next year, which I hope they do, I want you to make a point to make sure that you get the ticket that includes the breakout sessions. I want you to make sure that you schedule to go to the sessions. Like, I was kind of like, well, I want some more sessions. Like I wanted to be that student more. I took as many as I could. That was actually something when I was a hairdresser and I would go to a hair convention. The flashy lights, big main event part of it was always awesome and super fun, but it was registering for those sessions that I was learning how to do a better highlight, how to work smarter, not harder, how to do the next trend, all the things. So those sessions were really everything for me. I had a point about the session, but now I forgot. Anyway, but if you didn't get to go, if you did go, drop in here something that stood out to you in the session, something that you learned. That's what it was. It was don't wait. Don't be perfect. Get it done, not perfect, right? Get it done, not perfect. And I told Jan Mitchell that this morning when she sent me a text. Hey girl, she sent me a text about really working technology is a challenge for her. And so she's like, and raise your hand if it's a challenge for you. It is. Like, not everybody gets technology, and that's okay. But I was like, no, done, not perfect. Done, not perfect. Yeah, your video is amazing and super cute, but done, not perfect. Don't waste all the time doing it, right? So, and we have people like my friend Kaylee, who I always message. We have people that just produce better quality things than we do. I work smarter, not harder. I use those. I ask, hey, can I borrow that? Hey, I love your idea. Those things, like, we just picking up on more tips and tricks and all the things. Are you telling me to take a deep breath? Or somebody said, take a deep breath. I'm like, am I talking too fast? I'm sorry. Okay. But something else that I wanted to say is preparing for next year. Okay. Whether you made it this year or you didn't make it this year, like Chas said, you were missed. I missed you. Chas, do not choke on this Zoom. Okay. So, but, that's the thing is you can start saving now. And what I want you to do, whether if you have to do it in cash in a shoebox or an envelope under your sink or whatever you need to do, if you need to set it into a separate little, you start a little savings account and just stick it in there, you could literally save $10 to $15 a week. Pull it out right away, right? 10 to 15 bucks is not going to be missed if you pull it out first. Pull that $10 to $15 out and you will have more than enough come Palooza time. You will have more than enough to buy your Palooza ticket, to buy your travel, to put your deposits down, and then you keep saving up until Palooza and you'll have enough for spending. So it literally is that simple, but we don't think about the breakdown. We wait until it's time. And, and so this will be your Thrive emergency fund. This will be your Thrivepalooza emergency fund. Okay, Chas, we're going to talk details on all the new products and all the things. I want to touch first on rank advancement bonuses. And then Chas, I want us to just kind of share on the speakers, the things that stood out that we could get back to all the promoters on here. But first of all,
real quick, I want to just go just before we move on to the next thing. One thing I can say about those sessions is they were different. And if y'all know that, we're just a self-development industry with a compensation plan attached. And here's you a challenge. If you did not attend, and even if you did attend and you missed out on some sessions, I want to challenge you. And I can't do the work for you. And this is something that I've said, life has changed for me. My bandwidth is different. I'll meet you in the middle, but I'm not dragging you along. So when I give you this challenge, it's because I'm giving it to you because I truly want to see you succeed. I have accomplished things. I have checked things off my vision board. I have changed the landscape of my legacy. I want that for you. And so when Amber and I share and we pour into you, if you don't go back and execute, that's on you. And so one thing I want to challenge before we move into the next section, and maybe I'll have another challenge in a minute, but write this down, is that go through in your emails and find out who those speakers were, like Jasmine and all the speakers. Who were they? Go through and find out who they were. Go follow them on Instagram, social media, social spaces, so that you can hear, because I can tell you, whether it's Brock Johnson, all of them were very quality, and not all of them were how to build a business, how to create social media. Some of them were like doing hard life. So I'm challenging you to go through your emails, look at the lineup of the speakers and influencers that were there. And even if you didn't attend their class or you didn't attend Thrivepalooza, go follow them, because I feel like there's going to be some knowledge that's going to come in the next 12 months from these people. And you need to be a part of it. So don't miss out on that. Go right now, set your goal today to go follow some of those people so that you can gather content and information, probably a lot like what we got this weekend.
Yes, absolutely. And then also I know that some leaders are working on grabbing some of the panels that were in the breakout sessions and doing Zooms. And so be watching for that so that you can get, you'll be like you had a seat in the session. So one thing I want to touch on, rank advancement bonuses. So Jason Camper said on Friday night at the welcome event, he said rank advancement bonuses are not ending. Now, this is where, and we always say two people can be in the same moment and hear the exact same words and take them two different ways. Immediately, people were posting and running rank advancement bonuses are extending. And I'm like, wait, that's not what he said. So he said they're not ending. There is a difference. So run with these bonuses now. There's no reason you should stop. We've got 5, 6, how many days left in the month? 5 days left in the month. Run and run. We've seen people hit those bonuses in 5 days, right? So don't give up what could happen in the next 5 days. So what he clarified yesterday on the lunchtime call, which guys, these are every Monday. Definitely set it on your calendar, plug in, get on those calls every Monday at noon Central Time. He said they are going to revamp them. They're going to continue bonuses. So I just took that as they're going to continue some type of bonus structure. It's just going to be different, which we've seen that before, right? We've seen different bonuses at different times. Hey, this rank advancement bonus. Hey, go hit this bonus. So I'm excited that they're painting a picture of we're still in bonus season, but it's just going to be a different structure. So I'm very excited about that, but I did want to make sure that that was clear. And that y'all are kind of reaching out to your teams if they're like, oh, they're extending. Well, not exactly. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to start, and Chastity, you can go back and forth. I'm going to start with Jasmine Star. Y'all, I had actually, apparently a lot of people already knew who she was, follow her, whatever. I had never heard of her or Inky Johnson, to be honest. Inky Johnson was, my husband knew all about him. And apparently Stephanie, if you're on here, Joey, so Thursday night, Jason was talking about Inky Johnson, and Joey was like, what? Inky Johnson's going to be there? Like, he was so excited. I was like, you know who that is? Like, I was like, I had no idea. So, it was pretty cool. But anyway, so Jasmine, as she's talking, the way she spoke, like, it just resonated, I felt every bit of her. And then I don't know if you saw my post, but when she said, when I walked down Main Street at Disneyland, I knew I'd made it. And I literally started crying, y'all, because that was huge for me. I immediately was like, she's my people, because we had already been successful for a few years when I took my family to Disney World for the first time, because since I was 10 years old, I wanted to go to Disney World. Before Lavelle, all my friends, they're all taking their kids to Disney World. They're all putting on credit cards. Y'all, we couldn't even get a credit card. So there was no way we were going to Disney World. But I knew, I was like, I will take my family to Disney World, right? Jason, oh my God, I don't want to go to an amusement park, but he knew it was my dream. We took our family to Disney World. It is still probably my most memorable, magical moment ever. I was crying on Main Street at the parade. My boys, Mom, are you crying? I'm like, yes. Because my first time was their first time. And that was, to me, that was the I made it moment. And so when she said that, when she was like, our parents took us and we went in the parking lot, we ate sandwiches and all the things, she said, but when I got to take my daughter, and I took my daughter on Main Street. So guys, your made it moment doesn't have to be, I made $1 million. It doesn't have to be, I retired, I bought a mansion. It can be something simple, that Disney World thing was probably one of the first things after all our bills and debts were paid. It was one of the first things on my vision board. And you can bet your booty, when I saw Goofy, I stood in line. I was like, oh, like I hugged him. And it was the most special moment. Anyway. All right. So Jasmine, Chastity, what do you with her?
One of the things that she said is you either define success or you don't know when you have arrived. And one of the things I did when I got back home is, if you guys know, if Amber's showing everything, y'all know I have this wall, and a goal is to get it updated, add some more. I'm out of wall space, but on this wall is what I say, people past, present, and future. And these are dreams up here of other people. These are dreams that have become a reality. This is 9 years of blood, sweat, tears. This is 9 years of what it looks like to really just see other people make their dreams come true. And so for me, I know what success looks like. Yes, it's my own personal things, but it's also being able to be a part of people's journey and being able to say, it was so fun. Courtney took a picture of 5 generations of us. We had our own private white VIP party. I had to have a lot of electro night lights the next day. Just saying, if we're being honest, we're just going to be honest, And so it was a beautiful thing to look at what one yes can do. And one of the things I heard with Jasmine, it was an unspoken confidence. She just carried herself with a confidence of, I'm here because I've decided that I am going to change the narrative of what my typical life should be. I sent a message. I don't know if it came from her mini chat or on her autoresponder, but I sent her a message and I said, this brown girl will. And she said, girl, yes, you will. And, it's because it's not, I never look around. And when I saw Courtney's post, it just, everything hits me different these days, but, it was like, one yes, this yes turned into this yes. And I'm so thankful for all of those yeses that paved the way for us. So she just really kind of painted that picture of you can. And there's never been, I'm not saying I've always been a perfect person to lead, but I will say that I've never felt competition. I've never felt like I'm competing with Amber or I'm competing with Mari or competing with Tony. It's always been, if she can, she's showing me what I can now do. So, if there's, the girls can tell you. I mean, I literally connected with a couple of girls in the bathroom. I connected with an entire table. We'll just leave that for the ones that were in attendance. An entire table that we connected with, social media, pulled up our Instagram and connected with them. So that was at our private VIP party. Like, we haven't arrived. We're still growing. People transition in and people transition out in this industry. And so I have quoted what Maria said on one of her posts last week or something. She said, I've tasted what this business and this opportunity is, and I never want to be without it. It's not the things, it's not the, people could say all the time, money's not everything. Money isn't everything, but it can buy electricity, or it can buy, fancy things, whatever it is for you. So again, she said, define that success or you won't know when you have arrived. And so I think success is ever evolving. I think success is ever changing for people. And an important thing to do is reevaluate. She talked about her failures, and we can all go back and look at our failures, but did we learn from those failures? Did we fall flat on our back so we can look up and get up? And so that's for me what I loved. And, she was just fire. So power to the
and one
girl.
thing, the main thing I have pages of notes from her, but the one thing that really stood out was choose the poison or choose the power. And I was like, I personally allow too many things to have power over me. Negative thoughts, what other people think of me, need for acceptance, but choosing those things to have power over me is a poison. And so you choose the poison or you choose the power. And I took that in so many different ways. And I'm like, I need to stop listening to and drinking the poison. And I need to allow those things to fuel me and push me and do better and go further. Okay.
I loved real quick. And I loved, and I want to recreate it at some point, but my family, my grandparents, and even my mom, they picked cotton. I mean, that was what they did. So they picked cotton, but there's a lot of generational things in my lineage and in my family. And I want my children to be able to say, I want God to get the glory in every part of my story, but I want them to say, like, at that point, my mom changed the trajectory of the generational cycles, generational curses, whatever you want to call them. I don't like curse words, but the curse, that word, but it's just like, I've always said, that I'm a hard worker. I was working at 14, doing ice creams at the Dairy Dart. And I felt like I've always been a worker. I've never been that great of a stay-at-home mom. I've always worked, and I say it's that moralis in me. It's in my roots. It's in that what my grandparents instilled in me is that work ethic. And so to look at where we started as a generation and where we are now, like, she put that up there, like her grandmother and then her. And so I can't wait to continue to see my children, my grandchildren, and look at what they do and the greatness that they accomplish. So really it just takes us all the way back. So
It is amazing. And sorry, I laughed, but y'all, if you grew up in Greenville, we didn't have a Dairy Queen. We had a Dairy Dart. Like we couldn't even have a name brand ice cream place. So anyway, that just made me laugh. But
chicken fingers and chocolate shake sound so good right now.
Yes. Okay. We're going to just, before we derail, we are going to zip on over to Inky Johnson. Like I said, I didn't know anything about him. Also, the more he told his story, the more I was like, oh, like I thought as he told the story, that he somehow became some mega something right after his injury, but no, like he fought to come out, of the hood, basically. Right. He had people that did not believe in him, that told him, oh, you're going to end up just like your uncles. You're going to end up in jail. And, and then he came back and said, I made it to a D1 school. And then his junior year, he was injured and, I think he said it was 3 weeks from graduating, right? Or something like that. He was really close to actually graduating. And then, or maybe it was 3 courses. I don't know. Anyway, you can tell I didn't finish college, but he was just shy of graduating, and this injury happened, and all the things that led up to it. And then after the fact, and that he was like, I'm there for my team. It was that whole like, oh, I didn't just come to play. I came to be a part. And just because I can't physically play anymore doesn't mean I'm not a part of this team. It doesn't mean I'm just going to quit, just, I don't know, just things like that. And when he said, the Chas, what is it? You probably have it better than me. The one day you're on top of the world, and then one day the world can be on top of you. And that hit because honestly, it hit because that's hit my friend, and I immediately thought of you and how you have just powered through life and shared in all those moments with us. And guys, we're transparent because we want you to grow through what we've learned as well. And so with Inky, like he didn't go to Oprah because he wanted her to make him famous. He just was like, this is something I have to do. And he did it. And it wasn't, well, I did it and I hope she makes me famous. It was like, nope, that's just what I had to do, to go and do. So, Chas, Inky.
Yeah,
yes,
it did resonate so much because, I talk about how, January 31st, 2022, we closed a multi-million-dollar month, and Pat was like, proud of you, baby girl. And, let's go do the damn thing. And so, we had big goals and dreams. And so when he says, one day you're on top of the world, the next day the world is on top of you. And I literally felt that because the very next day, February 1st, it felt like an elephant sitting on my chest. I did not know how to inhale and exhale. But what I can say, and I'm so thankful, is that doing the work now, the work before. So, we talk about, doing the lives, doing the Zooms, doing all of those. Let's be honest, Tony's an OG. I've been here a minute. I'm not even going to tell you how many people we had in our breakout session. There wasn't a whole lot of people, but it reminded me how we do the work before the people will show up. Y'all know that quote, like, if you build it, they will come. I had been doing a lot of work, self-development work. There's sometimes we'll do coaching calls and we're like, go get a YouTube, go get something positive in your life. All these things that we've told you to do. When life hit, I had to put those things into practice. I had to learn how to stand back up. I had to lay on my back and look up, and it took me a lot longer. I'm still kind of laying there on my back. But what I learned is that this opportunity is why I can keep going. Putting capsules in my body is why I can put that foot on the floor. So, he said that, and I was like, I totally understand. I wish I didn't understand that, but I understand it. But I'm telling you now, I don't care if you have one customer in your organization or you are a multi-million-dollar organization. You have to lead from the front, and you have to lead with expectancy. I started just churning in my mind when he started talking about all the things coming and all the things that were going to happen. Who's next? Whose next big breakthrough is coming? Who is the one that's been in the trenches preparing, whether it's a triumph or it's a tragedy, my friend? I'm sorry. You know, one of the things Jasmine said is life is going to happen to us. It's going to happen to all of us. And we decide if it's happening to us, for us, through us. And so, you know, and I look at Inky, and I have said so many times, I feel like I'm missing a limb. And when I was looking at him, I thought he has a constant reminder of that limb and the situation he's in. And I have an opportunity to get back up. I'm still breathing. I say, you have a pulse, you have a purpose. So we're still breathing. We still have an opportunity to go make big things happen. So, you know, again, like I said, there was so much of the weekend that wasn't just a hype squad. You know, it was stuff about real life. Like, these are people that are in real life. And if you go look at some of their social medias, they have less followers than Amber and I do. Like, they're not at, you know, $1 million followers. They're on the rise because they're sharing their vulnerable truth. And so, you know, for me, it's just an expectancy. You know, you can either decide that, hey, I wasn't there at Palooza, I missed out, I didn't capitalize on the 2017 launch, you know, my team has left. Go back, reach out to the people that have left, find out where they are, what's happening in their life now. They may be ready to come back in and step into that. So every new day is a new opportunity, and looking around and seeing, you know, everybody's going through something. And when you look around, you can think, man, there's people going through stuff that's harder, but that doesn't diminish our hard. We don't compare hards. You know, somebody will say, oh, well, what you went through is so hard. I'm like, what you went through is so hard. Let's let that be hard in your own space. Don't compare. We're not here to compare hard. So just know that you have an opportunity. What will you do with it? Lavelle is meeting us in the middle. Let's lock arms with them again.
Absolutely. And that's giving me chills, by the way. All right. So let's get nitty gritty. Let's talk products. I'm going to get some of these, I'm going to zoom through, you know, and then those are things you can dig into, but something that I want to show y'all, if you didn't know, and I don't know, can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is your customer website. So whatever your username is, .lavelle.com, right? So Cool Hair Chick, that's my username, coolhairchick.lavelle.com. You're going to click those 3 lines, and then you're going to click Thrive, right? It says Thrive right here. Where can you see that? Where it says Thrive or plus line, you can access any of the products that way. Okay. And you can copy and send the links. You can also use Thrive Connect, but that's a whole other thing. But when you click it, so plus line, okay, well, all right, click plus line. So look, here's the rebuild right here, the new colostrum product. The video is right there. You can have your customers view the video, but also when you X out the video, there's all the info and the product PDF. So everything is accessible, even if those resources are not yet under our cloud office under resources. So you can send the link of the PDF directly to your customer, which I love that because then it keeps them within your link, right? Okay. So with that being said, we have a new shake flavor, chocolate covered strawberry. I did place my orders. I've got boxes showing up at my door every day right now. So because we ordered before we left because we needed more ooey and water, and we did it on the special shipping promo, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, we had so many boxes. When we came back, the boys brought them all. They're like a tower in my dining room. And then we get another box and another box. So I'm super excited for these new products to come in, but we've got the chocolate covered strawberry shake. And that's just in our regular shake line. Elite shake flavors. Y'all listen, the fact that they already have these new elite shake flavors, like we had vanilla for the first 18 months of my Thrive experience. That's it. That's all bad. So when they got chocolate, we're like, oh my God, chocolate, and it's strawberry and apple pie, so when people have been like, well, is there another elite shake flavor? I'm like, I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming. But now, yes. So vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate in the elite shake flavors. Okay.
Amber, I'm going to say something.
Uh-huh.
Now, guys, I am vanilla. Like, I like vanilla. I've done vanilla for 9 years, but I will tell you, I will order those to try them. I may love them, I may not. I always, no matter if it's something that I'm like, I'm not a big deal. I mean, I'll be honest, skincare, when I told Nate, I think I messaged Amber when we were about to launch our first skincare. I'm like, please do not come out with skincare. I am not a skincare girl, but as I get older, I'm a skincare girl. Imagine that, things wrinkle and sag and droop and drop that, they shouldn't be there. God didn't intend for that to sag like that. Right. And so, I will try them. So here's the thing. If you're thinking, let me know how it tastes. No, you're a business owner. You find out how it tastes. I can guarantee you, if a business owner is putting something out there or doing something, new, they're going to experience it. They're going to know what it is so that they can talk about it. So whether it's with your free product credits, however it is that you decide later to do, just at least try it so that you can say, hey, I know you like this. Might be your jam. Don't not experience it. Everything that comes out, you should experience. Male, female, whatever, experience it. But for me, I have no intention to change my auto ship from vanilla. Like, I love vanilla and that's just what I love. So, but I will order it because I want to be able to say, I know what that tastes like, whether it's a thumbs up or thumbs down. And when I have somebody that loves flavory things, they can, I'll be able to speak educated about it. Now, notice I didn't say ingredients and all of that things. I can just say, hey, I know how it tastes. That's one of the things that Brock said. People want to know about the benefits, not about the features, so just keep that in mind.
Well, and I have personally always ordered and always tried everything we have, even though I don't always use everything we have, right? There are things that I don't need. I don't need to take every freaking Thrive product every single day. Do I use them most in my life? Yes. But I have always tried every single one that comes out so that I can truly be a product of the product and I can show and tell. And, it's the touch, see, smell, taste, all the things, right? And then I will do that with the elite flavors and the new shake flavor because I will try them myself, but then I'll also have them on hand to make elite samples for those people that I see belly to belly building, right? That I'm with, and I've got this for you, try this for me. Tell me your thoughts. Okay. Colostrum beverage. I don't know if y'all were in there Friday night when that came out. Listen, there were so many, like immediately I was like, oh, and there's somebody that was standing by me that has a new baby. And she was like, don't I have that? Like, yeah, you've had that. But
Jamie Pekka said, is this booby milk?
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, number one, do not market this as booby milk. Okay.
Why is that not compliant?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
But I will tell you, so colostrum beverage called Rebuild. It is from grass-fed bovine. So if you have people that are like, where's it come from? It is not from Lucinda down the street pumping it out. It is Chastity. It is from grass-fed bovine. Like all of our other collagen things are also from grass-fed bovine. I can't say that fastly. But I love that he talked yesterday about that. He said, it helps with gut inflammation, gut repair, the gut brain axis. Guys, gut health, mental health, the two are in line so much. I've learned so much about that in the last 9 years. When my mental health got better, I started wanting to know why, and I was digging in and going behind the science of it. But I will tell you one thing I did is I made a post and in my story, go Google benefits of colostrum. And so like, cause I didn't know this was a thing for adults. I didn't. And so that was the first thing I did. And guys, let me just tell you, when I did that, you know how Google, like it shows you like the shop first, like you can buy the things. Most of those that popped up, they're $100 or more. And so this is very affordable. It tastes good. And I'm thinking like, yeah, it needs to be in your body a little bit, but I'm pretty sure because it's a gut health thing, you're going to notice some effects of it and working pretty quickly. So, the next thing, sorry, the whole colostrum thing, her daily support. Okay. This is very important. I'm going to talk compliance on this. One thing that they mentioned, her daily support is to remember, like, we cannot say this treats menopause symptoms. We cannot even say, which I did not know this was a pharmaceutical phrase or whatnot. We can't say hot flashes. So we have to say temperature fluctuations or something like that. I'm actually curious now that I'm saying this out loud, and maybe we can put in a support ticket. I'm curious if we can say night sweats or if we have to rephrase that. So just be careful. You definitely can't say hot flashes. So temperature fluctuations. Maybe I can just say I'm not sweating at night anymore. My sheets are, oh, that doesn't sound good.
And I know sometimes people get like, oh my gosh, this stuff is stupid. Let me tell you, I had to say thank you to compliance and, you know, eat a little crow when I met how sweet and nice one of our compliance ladies was. Cause I haven't always been very nice to compliance. I'm a human, guys. And honestly, they piss me off sometimes. I'm like, do y'all not have anything else to do? And so don't think that they don't hit me like they hit y'all and I'm just the one picked on. They don't, they are protecting our checks. So, you know, when they come out and it's
in our product.
Yes. I mean, so how can we, you know, we can't do that. You can figure out ways, you know, my body is changing and I'm not 20 anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's a very clear thing. And one of the things is that, you know, people understand. And you can hear how they talk about, you know, like, hey, we're getting older, you know, things are changing in our body. You know, and we do need to ask that, you know, can we say night sweats, you know, hot flashes is a symptom of a diagnosis, which is menopause, perimenopause, that sort of thing. So we just want to be compliant and we don't want to be that, you know, where we're excited about a product because guys, we're stepping into, I mean, so this for me is super exciting because I am sweating like a barn mule often and things are changing and it's like, I'm excited to be a product of this product. And I'm going to tell you when I started, and it kind of gets me in my feels, Amber, when I started, just because of my, you know, my mom and the DNA in my life, they've gone through a lot of changes early in life. We went through gray hair early, all the things. But when I started Thrive, I was in a place dealing with the changes and the just yuck of my body. I'm in that place now. So where, you know, my body's going, hey, you're getting older and I'm going to do all the things, you know, but I'm excited because this product is giving me hope into that next chapter. I was in one chapter when I started. Now I'm in a new chapter. So looking at this, it's like an exciting thing because I'm like, man, I'm gross. I'm sweaty. I can't sleep well. And, you know, like all of the things. So I'm excited because I'm really going to have a real life testimony. And I posted, I said, I can't wait to try this for 30 days. I can't tell you the messages of I'm going to be trying it with you. I'm going to be trying it with you because people can relate. Remember what I said, Brock Johnson said, talk about the benefits, not the features. You know, I didn't say it's a new patch and it's capsules. I just said, I'm excited for this to help me, you know, control that heat fluctuation. So, you know, it's just very, very exciting. And if you are someone that is like, well, I'm young, I'll be honest, Twin came up to us and she's like, how am I supposed to, like, I'm young, you know? And I'm like, oh, honey girl, you just wait, you know? And so, but I said, but here's the thing. Everybody has a mom. Everybody has a grandma. I mean, like you have people that you can market this to. And how many times have you heard people say, oh, that thrives for those youngins, that thrives for them, no, this ain't for youngins. And there is some. I have a young girl that has some issues, and she's young and she's going to benefit from this product. And so I'm excited for everything surrounding this. And you've just got to remember, not everything is going to be something that, you know, is marketed towards just your niche and your demographic. It's an opportunity to reach outside of the people that you've typically been talking to. So I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. And I did not know, I didn't know that this existed, but he said it's hormone free. So I've been very, very careful. You know, people are like, oh, I take progesterone, or I do this, or I just do, and I'm like, I really don't want to add hormones to my body just yet. You know, like I've been very, very careful about that. I also, because several years ago, I had gone and gotten like my testosterone levels checked and all the things. And I found out that I went to a place that basically tells everybody their levels are low. And then I was getting testosterone injections, and I just wasn't feeling like while I felt good, I wasn't feeling good with what I was doing and where I was going. So when I quit taking those, well, first of all, I went through all kinds of stuff, but when I quit doing that, I then dug into how to boost testosterone naturally. Like I was all up in the Google, and I'm like, how to boost testosterone naturally. And when you know, testosterone can help level out your estrogen and all the things. So if you're boosting naturally, then all these other things are leveling out. And so I had found some things that I could take that would help in all that. And I will also say, I'm very excited about this in the sense of when I started thriving, I already felt like I was already kind of getting the hot sweats and some things and, you know, whatever. And I was 38 then. And so started thriving. And we've heard this a lot, y'all, and this is not a claim, but we've heard this a lot, that a lot of people that were, you know, if they had to have an emergency hysterectomy, if they were thrown into early menopause, Thrive helped. So I can't wait to see just what Thrive helped with that, what this HGS specifically can help with that. And he did mention, so great benefits for balancing hormones. So again, remember this, it's balancing. So it's going to do, I figure like Thrive, it's going to do what your body needs, right? Like it's going to level out or boost up the things that need to be boosted. It's not just, well, it's going to up my estrogen or it's going to up my testosterone. It's going to do what your body needs. Go ahead, Jess.
Well, one of the things I want to make sure that we remember that we are pharmaceutical grade, but we are not doctors, and we are learning. And one of our warrior women, I think she's actually posting right now, Joy, she asked me, she said, Chas, you know, I have to be very careful. She's a survivor, and she has to be careful everything that she does. And, you know, like when we started, you know, we had the white willow bark in our product, and there were some people that were, you know, they were taking certain medications, and their doctor was like, oh, you know, you can't use this or whatever. Always have them go to their doctor. You know, she was talking to me about the black cohosh, which I didn't know about, but it's because this is no medical claim. This is education for me, but because she is on a medication that has a situation, her doctor had to give her recommendation. So you want to make sure anybody, because I know that just kept popping up, you know, what about people that are on hormone blockers and things like that? They need to get with their doctor. And so that is going to be always our recommendation. We need to talk about, you know, to them, but, you know, for example, if it's somebody that's not on a hormone blocker, I'm not on a hormone blocker, you know, it's going to benefit me. So just always make sure that in those situations, they go to their oncologist, their doctor, the person that sees them, knows their body, knows the results. And then, you know, that's where you defer them back to all of the time.
Yes. And because everybody's body is different. Everybody's on a different medicine. Different medicines affect each other differently. I was actually just having this conversation with a customer last night about her husband is on some medications that I used to have to take. And I'm like, it's so crazy because my girlfriend and I could be on Zoloft at the same time. I had great results. She had horrible results. Boost Par was great for her and horrible for me, you know? And so everything is going to be different for your body. So your doctor that specifically take those ingredients and check that out, because that while the cohosh, whatever, while that can up your estrogen, DIM can balance out and lower your estrogen. So there's all kinds of things in there, right? So anywho, just always tell them, check with their doctor. Always do not use somebody else's experience in that they can't use it or whatnot, because just because one doctor told one patient they can't use it doesn't mean that others cannot. So, moving on to, elite sample packs. Okay. So we've been asking elite sample packs. That is awesome. Super excited about that. That's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think we need to get into that, but in resources, sample packs, elite sample packs.
One of the things I like, and I don't remember who said it on stage, she said, give me 3 days to show you the simplicity, 30 days to show you how it can change your life. I love that. So for me, I've always said that this is just to show you the simplicity. So I do like that, it's putting it in packaging for us to just show them the simplicity.
Yes. Okay. And then touching on Shop Thrive. I'm not sure when that's coming, but they basically showed a quick video preview. Y'all, it is literally exactly what I have envisioned we need on our website to make it more user-friendly. And they said that is going to be their goal. The website will be updated. Shop Thrive, it will be more user-friendly. They'll be able to just pick and choose and all the things. So watch for that to come. Lavelle Skin. Okay, so here's something, y'all. Jason was very vulnerable this weekend. Like, he was very transparent, and he said, I owe y'all an apology. He said, Thrive Skin was not what I wanted. Now, and here's what's funny. He said that, I'm like, I freaking love Thrive Skin.
My middle daughter was like, you better stock up. Like, I have a shelf because she loves Thrive Skin.
But here's what I know. I know that we have never replaced a product with a downgraded product. So I'm super excited with the fact that I already love Thrive Skin so much. I'm super excited for this new product. And I will tell you, Chas, talking when you said, when it came out, and you're like, skincare, blah, blah, blah. I remember being like, shut up. But here's something to remember. One, okay, so first of all, when they launched Thrive Skin to begin with, I was skeptical. Y'all, I'm sold out to Thrive 100%, to Lavelle, all the things. I was already paying a bunch of freaking money for another skincare line. So when Thrive Skin came out and it was only $150, I was like, how good can that be? But now it's all I use. It's all I've used for however many years that's been now. I don't know, it feels like 2, but I think it's been 4. But I love it. Okay. So I'm excited about this one. I am excited to have a cleanser.
I'm excited about a cleanser.
Also exfoliates. Yeah. Super excited because I do love our charcoal bar. I actually use that more than I use any other cleanser. But I'm really excited about this having an exfoliation property in it. And he did say while he said, yes, of course, the 3 steps together is going to be the best. It will be sold individually. And it is something that you don't have to be like, well, if you don't use step 2, you can't use step 3, so allowing people to buy and pick and choose how they want. Obviously I will be marketing it as a set, but yes, you can, sometimes you might not like the middle step. I don't know. But I'm very excited about it. The fact that it's skincare with the nutrition side, with vitamin C and other things. And so, one thing that I noticed, it's weird because I just noticed it in the past couple of weeks. This right here is getting, older. And so that was the first thing I noticed when I had my pictures done a couple of weeks ago. I was like, when did my eyes do that? And so I'm very excited because I felt like Thrive Skin helped with that, but now I think my age is just, catching up. So very excited for that. Chastity, anything else on Lavelle Skin?
No, I think I definitely like our branding. I'm excited for the cleanser. Again, I use my other people's stories, but I do know that in the last 4 or 5 years, I've learned so much about my skin, and it's freaking expensive, to really take care of that skin. I've learned so much about retinol and hyaluronic acids and things like that, where, it's just, call me vain, whatever you want, but I like to feel good, and so I want to take care of my skin, and it's not something I've always worried about. And again, I think it's just normal. You don't worry about it until you need to worry about it. And instead of being proactive with my skin, I'm having to be reactive. So now I'm excited. I love that, somebody I love so much, my daughter, she loves it. And so that's one thing. I mean, she's not a big, all the things Thrive activist, but she is always in her stories and, doing a facial, and she's in the middle of school right now. And so a facial for her is just like her me time. And, she doesn't have time to go to a spa or whatever, but it feels good on her face. She's not one that wears a lot of makeup, but she does work in a situation where she, can sweat. And so she wants to take really good care of her skin. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be definitely a marketing space that we can, really continue to step into. And yes, nutrition from the outside in and the inside out. I mean, it brings it full circle. So I think it's cool.
And I'm excited too, because I'm just kind of throwing myself out there. I'm a great guinea pig, because I'm terrified. I will not do Botox. I will not do surgery. Like, I'm legitimately
give me needles and cut me open, baby.
But that's okay.
Suck it all out.
Like,
suck it.
I'm a great guinea pig, because I'm terrified of those things. So it's got to be all topical for me. Anyway, moving forward. Okay. I think other than, we'll move into Duo. Okay. So guys, we may go a little bit over our normal hour, just because we're literally bringing you 72 hours of info in an hour. So, all right. So, but the next biggest thing, Duo Elite. Okay. So one thing, and a lot of us leaders had some great chats on this and some conversations, and kind of want to really bring that back to you. So first of all, Duo, if you weren't here when Duo launched, the original build up to Duo was awesome, right? And so everybody was so excited, like so excited. That launch was incredible. That next Tuesday, I legitimately bawled, cried, hyperventilated at my desk. But it was a $10 million generated in that first week of Duo sales. Okay. It was, Jason even said again, it was our largest launch. So Duo Elite, here's what I want to tell y'all. This is something we need to pre-build. I think that we have gotten into, and I will own up to it as well. We have gotten into a little bit of a lackadaisical, think promos, things come out, post it, done, tell your team, done. We need to truly and seriously, in a fabulous, magnanimous, whatever, supercalifragilistic way, we need to pre-build for this. And here's what's awesome. Elite in itself has already, we have the before and after pictures. The results are phenomenal, like phenomenal. Even if you can't take Elite or you're not on Elite, that's okay. Use the other things, because I will tell you, I use the Elite DFT. I went back to my regular capsules, my regular shake. I love my shake flavor the way I do it. I love the original boost of my capsules, but I also don't necessarily need to lose a lot more weight, so it's going to be different for everybody. But the DFT, heck yeah, I wear it all the freaking time. So I'm excited about what Duo Elite is going to do. We'll do more about that and talk about the permeation and the left side, right side technology and all the things. Chas, I want you to talk about that, because we talked about I think it was Saturday night, just about, we've got to get back to better pre-building.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm excited because I do know I have a new a promoter that just started Elite, and she's actually like, I don't feel good. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And I said, when something comes out, I commit to 30 days to try it. And with Elite, the first 2 weeks, I took naps. Now, I'm not saying I don't take naps just period, because I mean, life is crazy, and I'm sorry, Thrive's not crack, and I sometimes have to take naps, so it for me, but I was home. I was home that 2 weeks. I was probably sitting at the desk or sitting on my phone. I wasn't exerting all of the energy that I was getting from Elite. Now, then the third week, I was traveling. I was up early, staying up late. Elite was the jam. So now I'm back home. I'm classic capsules. I still, just because I have it, in my little canister, I'm doing the Elite shake mix. And today I just have regular DFT on. I don't need marathon energy today. I don't, but this past weekend, doing all the peopling, doing all the schedules, going everything where we need to be. I needed that Elite energy. So what I told her is, I said, first of all, and you heard one of the girls that talked with Courtney Good, when she was saying, she's like, you've got to hydrate. You've got to be putting that water in your body. And so I think that the fourth step is what people miss. You got to be moving your butt. And so, for the people that don't need that aggressive weight loss, then Thrive Classic may be that for them. And I think this kind of pulls it full circle, because a lot of people, including myself, I said, I don't want to be a catalog of products. I don't want to have all this stuff. Well, it gives me an opportunity to meet people at all different levels of life. And so, someone may need that aggressive, weight loss, but if they need aggressive weight loss and they're just doing the 3 steps with Elite, but yet they're putting 5 million calories on their fork and they're sitting on their butt, my product is not going to work for them. And I'm just being honest. So the fourth step is you have to be moving. So you have to determine what level of help do you need throughout today? If today is a low-key day, I think Carol Webb said she drove all through the night, 17 hours or whatever. And then she was like, I didn't want to get up and get moving. So I didn't do my capsules till midday. And that's okay. You have to determine, what does your day look like? What does your responsibility look like? And then what help do you need? I know, I think Jana had a question. Somebody did. Or Jana. I don't know.
Oh, about the cruelty-free. Anyone know if the new skin products are cruelty-free? Yeah. Somebody else asked that yesterday, and I believe submitted a support ticket, and we'll be watching for that. Just about, are they animal tested, basically, is what that kind of boils down to. I know that was a question with our last skincare, and the answer was no. They're not animal tested. So I would personally assume it would be the same. But we will get that support to get answered and get that out there. Sometimes some of that takes a little bit. But also, here's the other thing on that, Chas, on these, like when you add skincare and when you add, other things, imagine that like your whole team is buying skincare from you instead of somewhere else. Like, how awesome is that? And one thing I want to tell you, and then we'll wrap this up. It was kind of funny to me. So one, this skincare is actually a lower price than the last skincare. It's 140 USD instead of 150 USD. I was like, well, dang, that's kind of awesome. But at the same time, then, sorry, that sounds weird, but, and then the hormone kit, it's 2 products. It's only, I think, was 120, right? USD. It's funny to me. I was having this conversation. Bye. Have a good day. I was having this conversation with one of my promoters last night. Some people, they won't spend $160 on Thrive. They don't see the value, but they will go to Walmart. They will buy all the things for hormone help, and they'll spend $200 before they know it. Right. So to get, hey, here's a help balance your hormones for $120, they're going to be like, sign me up. So make sure that you're not in their pocketbook per se. Like if you right now can't afford $120, don't assume somebody else cannot, right? So make sure that you're still talking about it. You're still sharing about it, because you may not need hormone daily support right now, but somebody else does. So make sure that you're still sharing and out there about things that even you aren't trying or taking just yet. Okay. Chas, last words. We're about 4 minutes over.
I just feel like if I could go back in time, really, 2014, March 2014, or June, July 2017, and look at, I'll never forget what that first paycheck was. $200 was to my life, and it was exciting. And then, I'll never forget the first $10,000 paycheck. I never want to forget that. And I feel like we're at that beginning point of like, now the new people coming in or the people coming back, how will I love and lead differently? How will I be a little wiser with my money? What type, what will I do different? And so I'm excited someone said, read that to me, Amber. I don't know. It says, Chas, can you say something? But anyway, I am just so excited for the opportunity that we have. And I just have to say thank you to the ones that have stayed the course, that have continued to be faithful to this journey. And, if you are here and you're like, I just don't feel like I've had the success I'm looking for. I don't feel like, I feel like I've missed it. You haven't missed it. And that's the cool thing about this business. If you will focus, if you will share, if you will get excited about what you have, that's what we did in the beginning. And I'm excited to do that again. And I'm excited to see the stories that are going to come from this. I mean, we were sitting around this whole weekend just hearing stories, and that's it's the people and it's the stories for me. So I'm so excited and I can't wait. And so big thank you, Amber, for your yes. And I'm excited for all the yeses that will come from this. Yes, the bamboo tree. Somebody, they shared the bamboo tree. They said it's a tree that you have to water. You water that seed for 5 years, and then it grows like, I don't know how long, but go look it up.
Like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yes. So just a cool thing. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Thank you to all you leaders that are in the trenches and just doing the things. We appreciate you, and we cannot do it without you, and we wouldn't want to do it without you. So thanks, Amber, for loving and leading me, and let's go do the damn thing.
Exactly. Let's go do the dang thing.
Bye. I said damn.
I said dang.
Okay.
Yin and yang. Bye.
Yeah.